that. Oh man, that's bad, huh? After they found out the diagnosis of what I had, the doctors pretty much said after the first 6 months of chemo that your system cannot save you, your history. But the option we have is to find someone whose system could give you another chance at life. I'm John Whalley. I work as an artist in a realist tradition. I work with egg tempera, which I loved. I've continued to this day to work in that medium. I got involved with a program working with street kids in Brazil.
The night before we left for Brazil, we were in Florida with some friends. I noticed rashes on his forearms. He took some Benadryl and we thought it was just the heat. We went from doctor to doctor for 18 months. We finally found out that he had 2 types of lymphoma.
The subject matter that I've worked with has basically been, we're taking objects that have been discarded, thrown away. Ellen and I go out very regularly. Every Sunday, usually during the summer months, we stop by the Montsui flea market and bring him here to the studio. And I really enjoy, rather than taking something that is obviously beautiful and just showing its beauty, I like to take things that the beauty's hidden in there, whether it's the patina of an old tool or, you know, the wear and tear of an object, and put it in a still life or a portrait of an object that just brings out the beauty of it, the color, the patina, the texture. And people look at it with all new eyes. It's like, this thing is beautiful, and it's giving it a second chance, almost like redeeming it from the trash and giving it a new life.
Beautiful.
Oh, for...
Yeah. Wow, it's made out of walnut, it looks like.
Yeah, that's a fancy.
Yeah.
It's a little
Interesting.
walnut shuttle that was probably used in a very small loom, I would think, huh?
And during that time, I was, you know, faced with whether or not this would actually work. And yeah, obviously, it was a time of, you know, pretty much concern. Ellen and I have 2 sons. I thought to myself, if they were going through something like I was going through, as a father, I would want to let them know I'm here for you in any way I can be. During this time is when I received these 2 little, almost epiphanies. It was my sense that my Father in heaven was giving me 2 special little indications that I'm here for you, John. I know what you're going through, and I'm here, and don't worry. Another thing that happened during that period, during a Yahtzee game, a little voice just spoke in my ear. When I show up on the scene, meaning God, chance goes out the window. The first roll was 5 of a kind. It went around, and the second roll was 4 of a kind, and the last roll was a large straight.
And for 6 months at least, he didn't tell a soul about this. He thought it was just too out there. I decided when he got sick that this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you either believe what you say you believe or you don't. And I chose, and I choose every day to believe that I do.
And we began this journey together. He put himself in my hands. And it was actually through a network of relationships he had that brought him to the right specialist down at MGH that ultimately yielded the right diagnosis.
It was such a rare lymphoma that there were only like 200 or 250 diagnosed cases in the country. The doctor literally said, you have a 50-50 chance. And so we decided to take the 50 chance that was going to help him. And it did. It put the cancer into remission so that he could get his second stem cell transplant. And we're forever grateful to Seattle Genetics for that.
When I was preparing for a show at that time, Psalm 139 in the Old Testament that I had to be reading, and the words in it are, in your book were written all the days that were formed for me, when none of them as yet existed. And then when we were out antiquing right at that time, and I found this old book, it says day book on the top of it, and it's someone's ledger of the days that they had been working. And I included this in a painting along with this old set of calipers, and these are used to measure distance and time. It brought us a lot closer together. And secondly, it really showed us and demonstrated to us that we were meant to be together.
And we have some very, very personal and cherished memories that would only mean something to us.
Having gone through, memories from...
Even though some of it was
through.
bad, we wouldn't trade a thing.
Yeah.
It's the deal.